I've only gotten to where I am by a series of massive failures. When my dad passed away, I was like, well, my whole goal for moving to San Diego was just to move back to Nebraska. And I started drinking a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. The girlfriend I had at the time told me I was an alcoholic. And I was like, it's not normal to
Loved
drink.
you enough to tell you the truth, man.
It's not normal to drink a handle every day.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's the crazy part is I was drinking a handle or a bottle and I wasn't even getting drunk. I was such a good talker that I still had friends and girlfriends and all that kind of stuff. But like, I was not proud of who I was becoming or where I was headed. And I get a call from a friend of mine who's a contractor. And I had done his website and his branding. And he said, Jack, what are you doing this summer? And I said, I don't know. I'm just hanging out. I got a little bit of money right now. I'm just going to hang out and enjoy it. You know, I ran out of the money as quickly as it came. And how's that contracting thing looking? So I started selling roofs and remodel jobs. So this is when I burned the boats. So I go back to the inspector and I said, I don't do websites anymore.
Wow, man.
And he says, what do you mean? And I said, well, I sell real estate now. I decided in my mind, because I had enough money from the 2 months previous, that I could maybe make it 2 more months in the industry. And if I couldn't make it work in that 2 months, I would go back to doing design and branding. So I went full in. I went all in. Burned the boats. Got all into real estate. Happy to say we've been at it for over 2 years now, and we're growing at an incredible pace.
So
Last year
cool.
we sold 350 houses. This year we're on track to do about 500 houses.
This grace on your life, you can move that to someone who does, and all of a sudden now the team continues to thrive.
Yeah, it's been really
brilliant,
cool. And just really lucky. It's a lot of luck, a lot of hard work, a lot of failure, a lot of success. There's no class that's going to get you there. There's no 5-step program. Everybody's living in their own boots, and sadly, there's not a room for you in mine.
So good, bro. Good
so
word.
I'm just going to be fully honest and transparent about that. Could you go further, faster than I did?
Wow.
You don't need my boots to get there.
Hey, welcome back to the Doxson Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Todd Doxson, joined by my neighbor, my homie, Jack Harvey. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing fantastic.
Looking
it's
good
to be here. I appreciate you inviting me out.
Hey, okay, so we're going to do 2 things before we get into the content. One, I want you to tell the listeners about the polar plunge. What was going through your mind?
Oh, my gosh.
Like, bring them back. So just for context, we live in the same neighborhood. I was moving from one house off lake to on lake, and you knew about it, and you're like, bro. Now fill in the listener in. What were you saying? What were you telling me?
Okay, so how did it come to be?
Yeah.
So you were living catty corner for me, which I'm still very sad about. I haven't met the new people that moved in. I'm very sad. That's twice
that
I've
was
had a good neighbor
because I get to see you all the time. Yeah,
which is pretty cool. But I'm super excited. You're really not that far away now. So you were telling me that, hey, I'm doing this move. We got the contract on our house, and we're going to close next month. And then I jokingly said to you, let's break in your new house with the polar plunge. And I thought you were going to be like, yeah, that's a great idea, man, and never talk to me about it. Right? And you were like, you were more excited than I thought. You were like, yes, we're doing that. And we should get the other neighbors involved. And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, let's invite Brandon. And then I think Brandon invited his neighbor.
Yeah, then you brought Jim in the mix.
Yeah, then Jim got in the mix. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So then you guys were like, we're going to do that after we get a little bit more settled in. And I was like, all right, it's probably not going to happen. It's all good. I've done polar plunges before. It's not on the top of my list of things to do, but I like to challenge myself.
Exactly. I love that about you. Yeah, I love that about you. Yeah.
But I wasn't like thoroughly excited to do it. Then I got the text. And I think it was a Tuesday.
I forget what day it was.
Wednesday or Tuesday.
I know what happened though. I don't remember what day it was, but that morning the lake was still frozen over. We're in Omaha, Nebraska, folks. It was solid, and then it was that hot, windy day.
Yes.
And by the end of the afternoon, the ice was gone.
Well, and it wasn't gone; it had just floated across the lake. So we actually got into the lake when there was still ice floating in the lake. It was probably 32 degrees, 34 degrees, barely above freezing.
That was so
just
awesome.
like the temperature above. It was pretty wild.
All right, guys, Jack called it, dude. Let's do this.
Yeah, so then you sent a text with not a ton of notice. I think it was like a day of text. And you sent a group text to us, and you were like, hey, let's do it tonight. And I remember being like, man, what kind of excuse can I come up with? That was my immediate response was like, I'm busy. Right? I'm not a huge fan of unplanned events. And then I was like, you know what? This was your idea, your recommendation. And I was
Get
like,
back out now, baby.
I was like, just commit to it. And if you have something in your calendar, move it. Just make it happen. This is the day.
Love that.
So I was just like, I got rid of the excuses as it happened in my head. And then Brandon was super excited about it. And Brandon's like,
Brandon
I got
was
a
totally
sauna.
stoked.
We can hit the sauna after at my house and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, we're doing this. So then I had literally just gotten home. I think it was like 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. The wife's cooking dinner. My kids are like hanging out. Hey, Daddy. And I was like, hey, guys, I got to go. I'll be back in about an hour. And they're like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to go do something kind of dumb. I'm going to go get in that lake over there. And they were like, you're going to get in the lake? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get in the lake. And my mom was like, no, my wife was like, no, you're not. She said, no, you're not. And I said, yeah, I am. And I went upstairs and I got my swimsuit on.
Yep.
And then I think I rocked my bike over to your house.
You just rolled right over, bro. Next thing you know,
you guys were already outside.
Yeah, you're rolling in, ready to go. And then tell them about the actual what happened. So we get a little group picture real quick. We should probably throw that on for all the listeners. Right?
We took a little group picture real quick, and Jim joined. And I had never met Jim before, so that was cool.
Great
to meet
guy,
another
man.
neighbor too.
Yeah.
And Brandon is just a high quality guy.
Just
I've known him for a few years now, and his brother is actually one of our Meraki clients.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
The pilot. So it was really cool just to like get together and then meet Jim. And I didn't know you guys were going to have a fan base there. So you guys actually had like supporting cast around you. Family members were in tow.
We need someone to count because we were like, dude, we need someone to count because it was literally because I've done ice tubs for years, but dude, that was brutal.
That was brutal.
So we get in, they do the little clock time.
So we get in, and I think if you post the video or show the video or the link to the video, I put my feet in first, and then you guys were kind of slow rolling it, which was the way smarter way to do it. And I was like, I'm just going to get this over with really fast. So I put my feet in, and then I kind of looked back, and I was just like already totally out of this idea. It's like, what am I doing right now? You know, it's that it sends your body into that fight or flight.
It totally does, dude.
And I was like,
you're like,
I gotta get out.
I gotta dip, bro.
I gotta go.
That was nuts. And then I looked over, like both Brandon and Jim. They're like,
yes.
They like close their eyes.
They're meditating.
They're meditating in the ice water.
So as soon as I got into the water, I think I lasted maybe 3 seconds, and you guys lasted about 30 seconds to a minute.
I think it was, yeah.
But it like for me when I got in, it felt like 1,000 knives just poking me from every angle. And I remember just getting in and being like, nope, I did it.
Nope.
I got in the lake. Now I'm gonna get out.
I committed. But the cool thing too, even going up to Brendan's sauna, dude, and just hanging and catching up, cool. Man, like thawing out a little bit. It's good stuff.
It was super cool, and I'm impressed with you and Jim and you guys' ability to make us young guys.
The old men.
Guys look
the old dudes
look like really young. You guys were rocking it, and you're both really fit. So
that was fun.
I commend you on that.
Love it. Well, let's get into it, Jack. Thanks for taking time, man. You know, it's been cool just to get to know you a little bit over these last several months now.
Yeah,
being neighbors and a lot of, I don't know. I'm good friends with your brother, and then just learning real estate. You've been very gracious to me as I've early gotten in this game as an agent. You know, bringing signs over to me, giving me open house tips, and I just got a lot of respect for you, man, as a young guy. And so I wanted to get you on the show, and I'm just getting this going. I think the motivation for this is I just want to help people, man. Leading the church for 18 years, that was the goal. We just wanted people to experience God's best for their life. And real estate is very similar. Like I want God's best for people's life in this area of real estate. And we know it's like such a major investment, whether it's your personal, your private residence, your other investments. These are gigantic, parts of life. And so we want to be able to serve people well. And so why don't we just start, just give where you're at today, maybe a little bit about your family and just who you are. Let's just start there. And then maybe we can kind of go through some segments of your story and just try to help people pick up some tips and wisdom. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, I'll start out with this, which will probably hit at home with a lot of people.
Let's go.
I've only gotten to where I am by a series of massive failures.
Wow. How about that, dude?
I'm extremely lucky to have come out on the other side. A lot of hard work and luck.
How old are you right now, dude?
37
37. Okay. Yep.
or 38. I don't know. You stop keeping track.
37, 38.
I know I'll find out.
You're actually our new lead pastor, Pastor Mike. That's his age. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I forget. You know, 30 comes up. I know 40 is in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So
You'll know that
somewhere
one for
there.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't really keep track.
Upper
that much.
30s.
Upper 30s. And anyways, I was kind of a degenerate growing up.
As most of us.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than some, but
What would be some of your biggest hangups then as a young guy?
as a young guy, I was very smart for my grade, which caused me to not pay attention in school because I felt like I knew as much or more than the teachers.
Yep.
Sometimes I did, and sometimes I didn't.
Yep.
Some teachers proved me very, very wrong.
Yep.
Some teachers proved me right.
Yep.
And so, homework wasn't really a thing for me because I could not read the book and know the answers because I was always studying the world. And I was always like encyclopedia nerd, like looking things up and doing things on my own. And so then when it came to school, I was like, how do you guys not know, about elephants? Like, I studied elephants all summer.
Wow.
How
do you, were your parents a big influence on that, or how did?
Yeah, so my dad, I was very lucky. My dad, I have two very different upbringings. My mom, who grew up in very poor, almost third world Brazil. And then my dad, who grew up in Nebraska to a very well-to-do family.
Interesting.
Right?
And then they met.
And then they met in Brazil. And then my dad convinced my mom to come to America.
Wow.
They were initially living in Brazil, and Thiago and I both lived in Brazil.
Interesting.
When we were younger.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Until Brazil started to get too dangerous, and my mom said we should probably move to America.
Wow.
So.
How old were you when you guys dipped here?
I think I was about 3.
What's the difference between you and Thiago? He's a couple years older.
Thiago is 2 years older than 2.5 years older than me.
Yep. So he'd have been 5, 6 years.
He was
older.
born in Brazil. I was born in America. I was the first one born in America out of our brothers.
Wow.
So we're both first generation Americans, I guess.
It's cool. It's cool.
But
so
yeah.
They had different backgrounds growing up. So you had an interesting probably mix.
So it was very interesting because my dad was this, this business guy and entrepreneur and did all these different really cool things. And then my mom was actually the first successful person in her family also, but from a third world almost country.
Interesting.
So she was like the first one in her family to have a car.
Wow.
Right? Which was like a big deal. She had her own apartment by the time she had met my dad, which was a huge deal. I mean, my mom always used to joke with me when I was a kid. She said, you guys are always complaining about your bedtimes. We never had to complain about our bedtimes in Brazil. And I'd be like, why? And this was like one of the stories I heard throughout my life. Anytime I'd complain about bed or going to sleep or anything, she'd say, because we would race to get home from work or from school so that we could secure the best place on the floor in the one-room house we lived in.
That's humbling.
Yeah.
That'll set you straight.
She's like, so going to bed early was a privilege because that meant you got to pick where you slept that night.
Golly, dude. Wow.
And I was just like, so I got to hear stories
I'll
like
put it in
that from my
perspective.
mom.
For sure, yeah.
Or we would go back to Brazil when I was a kid, and then we'd go visit some of my cousins who are still extremely, like I have both wealthy and poor cousins in Brazil, and they're all amazing. But we would go visit some of the cousins that were not as well off in life, and in those communities, and their friends were wearing grocery bags for T-shirts, and we would see this kind of thing.
Wow.
And then we couldn't talk about living in America or being American or anything because it would put our whole family in danger. So I got to witness this just like crazy 2 different versions of life. And then not even realizing Nebraska not being the coolest place to grow up in the world, how damn good we have it here.
Absolutely.
Because once you start visiting other cities and then you come back to Omaha and realize how far ahead of the curve we are.
Man.
We're this little Switzerland in the middle of the country where our architecture is better, it's cleaner, people take care of stuff more, we have more access to things than they do even on the coast sometimes.
So wild.
Yeah.
And the traffic doesn't suck like in Miami or New York or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Cali.
it's just generally not dirty and people are a lot nicer. Yeah. But anyways, that's where my dad grew up, was Omaha, right? And he was a banker, and he was a fireworks guy, and a farmer, and a cattle rancher, and all these different crazy things.
Wide variety of businesses.
Yeah, I mean, he went to Brazil to find land during the gold rush in the 80s because he was on some pipe dream that he had because he would always chase these different cool, interesting ideas. Man. And so, he had his bank at a point where it was kind of running itself. And he's like, I'm doing fireworks and I want to secure shipments for fireworks through Brazil. And I want to do this like land deal and find land during this gold rush. I mean, yeah.
How cool is that,
So,
man?
and ended up meeting my mom. Right. So anyways, that's a whole crazy story. But
so in that though, from the education side, like they must have trained you early on the power of reading, the power of education.
yes.
Like for you to have, I mean, God made you a brilliant guy, but you still got to cooperate with the grace of God and actually implement
what's
studying and reading. And
what's really interesting is my mom, she speaks much better English than she did 20 years ago. So I was her translator.
wow.
Right. And so was Thiago. We basically were like her active translators and readers while she was still like learning the English language. So we had to grow up kind of fast so that we would not put her in weird positions because my dad was so busy with his businesses that my mom really raised us quite a bit. Right. My dad was still around, but he was a busy guy.
Sure.
So
Full schedule.
yeah, full schedule all the time. Come home, after work at 6, he'd be tired and have dinner with us and then go to bed.
Yeah.
And that was fine. And then he would take us on incredible vacations and spend like a lot of really like tight time with us, which was totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't.
It was the rhythm that was your family and you appreciated it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He made it to enough of my sports games. He didn't go to all of them, which was fine. You know. So I'm very lucky with how he raised us and what he taught us. But he believed in reading above all.
Wow. Okay.
So we actually had designated reading times when I was a kid.
So
and this
brilliant,
is something
dude.
that I do with my kids to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So
my wife was big with Blazing Zion on that early on. Huge.
Yeah. I mean, even when we were teenagers, we would have like reading like once or twice a week. We'd go sit in the living room. Everybody would have their books, and it was completely silent.
Come on.
And we all just had to read. And what was cool about my dad was that back in the early days of Amazon, when they actually only sold books,
Yeah, dude.
he said, "Hey guys, I know you guys think that like you guys are rich, but you're not. I am." Right?
So good.
But one thing that I'll always have for you guys is if you want to go out and get an education or you want to buy a book, I'll buy it for you. But don't ask me for anything else.
That
was my dad.
Brilliant, dude.
And so then I had, the ability to go on Amazon and choose books, and we had the library, the Millard Public Library, which we utilized a ton.
Sure.
So between those two things, I could pretty much get my hands on anything.
So great.
This is before the
man.
internet.
How about that? Thanks for sharing that. Because that's a powerful thing. I just did a podcast on establishing healthy rhythms in your life, but what a beautiful rhythm that your folks set up.
Yeah.
I mean, so you start up in life and, brilliant guy, and so you're like not really paying attention a lot in class. Tell me from then high school on, give me some of that season of life.
So middle school, I started getting in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Middle school was a really tough era for me, 6th and 7th grade. And so then I was given the choice from my parents to go to either military school or go to a little private school in Omaha called Brownell Talbot.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
So that was my choices. I think I toured Mount Michael at the time too. And then I was going to go to this East Coast military school. But then I found out that the East Coast military school was all boys and Mount Michael was all boys. And I was like, I don't know about that,
bro.
guys.
That ain't happening.
I don't feel like taking the homie to prom. So that wasn't really doing it for me.
No.
And I just I was in 7th grade, so my interest in girls was starting up. And I was just like, whoa, wait, what? So then I was like, well, I choose Brownell. And my dad was like, well, here's the deal. Like, you've already really screwed up in the past. So this is your last and final, and then you won't live in this house again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I was pretty bad, looking back. I hope my kids don't do that to me. But
you have amazing kids.
I got so lucky when I went to Brownell. So Brownell has an entrance exam, and then I did the entrance exam, and they were like, whoa. Like, you just scored.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, they were like, you scored the highest anyone's ever scored on our entrance exam.
Wow.
And at the time, I was a D student. And they were like, you're just not being challenged.
Yep.
We need to put you in a place, and we're going to put you in certain classes to challenge you.
Amazing.
Well, I was way behind on math, which now I love math. I was way behind on math, way ahead on reading, way ahead on speech. I was on speech team. I did choir. I got into all these activities because I did get in a little trouble when I moved over. But my principal, best thing he ever did, he said, hey, Jack, I'm going to take your free periods away because you don't know how to handle your time when it's yours.
Interesting.
And I said, well, what do you mean? And he's like, you're not going to have free periods for the rest of your high school. career
That's
here.
smart, dude.
And I was like, well, that stinks. And he's like, yeah, so you're going to try yoga. I'm putting you in choir. You're going to do this. All these like little weird random classes.
Come on, dude.
He's like, and then when you find the one that you like, just keep that one for the next 4 years. And this is like into my freshman year. I already lost my free periods.
It's absolutely brilliant.
And so what ended up happening was that I found these little communities in my school and people that I respected. And I ended up really getting into speech and really getting into choir, joining the golf team, you know, just so I could practice instead of go to a free period or not have my free period. You know, any sort of thing that I could like get my hands on.
So cool.
So that I wouldn't be placed. And it was really cool because it taught me a really important lesson early on, which is that if you don't choose, someone's going to choose for you.
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
So that he'd given me this opportunity to choose after he chose for me, and I never let that ride after.
Really good.
So that was actually a huge life lesson for me.
Dang,
Shout out to
man.
Mr. Logston, Brown.
Let's go, for real, dude.
So I got really lucky with that education and the school that I ended up going to, and I still continued my bad tactics. I think I wrote papers for kids for money in public school.
Entrepreneur, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, I got sent to summer school one time when I was at private school, and I was with all these football players, and we had a paper due every Friday.
I'd be the one asking you to write the paper for me.
I was a football player too, but I could write papers in my sleep. Because at Brownell, it's a college prep school, and you write 20-page papers like it's nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
So then I was like a 3-page paper, 2-page paper every Friday. This is nothing. I could literally do like 20 of these. So I did, $20 a pop.
Brilliant.
And these kids were paying it. So I continued my own versions of these things.
Yeah, for sure.
As I got older. But, you know, eventually you find out when you're cheating the system that all that same effort you're going to put into like cheating or doing the wrong thing, if you just put it into the right thing, it'll pay off huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
that's right. You steward it the right way. So college, you go to college.
I did. I attended college.
Okay.
Some college, right? Is that what you check on the?
Some college.
Some college.
That is awesome. That is a box, isn't it?
Yeah, those are the boxes. I'm a some college.
I'm a some college guy.
Yeah, totally fine.
Yeah.
I got so I went down to San Diego. My goal was to play football. I wanted to get recruited back to Nebraska.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So my goal was to go down there and play for the community college. I'd gotten some offers to some small D2 schools up here in the Midwest and up north. And I was like, no, I'm going to go to San Diego. I'm going to play for this community college.
Did you play receiver?
No, I was a linebacker at the time.
Linebacker.
I weighed 240.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, you
so
told me that.
I was a lot bigger dude.
Yep.
And I was decently fast for 240.
Yep. 240. How tall are you?
6'3".
Dang, dude. That'd have been great.
Yeah, and I could run. In high school, I was about a 4'7".
Yeah, I bet.
40 at 240.
That's quick at 240. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could hit people pretty hard.
So the idea was to go down there, get some tape, stay healthy,
go down there,
come back, maybe get a shot back
maybe
here.
get a shot at playing at Nebraska, which was always my dream. Right? You grow up in Nebraska, you want to be a Cornhusker.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Some of us are lucky enough to do that.
It's funny, when Tom Osborne came to my house, I thought he was God, dude. It was crazy. He was so tall too. He almost hit his head like on the
How tall
entrance.
was he?
I mean, again,
How tall were you in high school?
I was 6 foot. I bet he was 6'6" or
Wow, I didn't realize
6'5".
he was that tall.
The guy was. I was like, dude. And you know, you're in
He's a
Nebraska. You
legend.
grew up in Nebraska. He's a legend. Sweetest guy, nicest guy in the world. In fact, he was so cool. After my pro career and when we first started the church, he wrote me a handwritten letter actually and said, "Hey Todd, I've been following you. We messed up when we didn't, when we didn't take you in, give you a scholarship." He said, "I'm so proud of you, man, and what you're doing in life right now." Yeah, super cool guy. He didn't have to do that. Handwritten note from the legend. Anyway, so the idea was to come back as somehow play for the Nebraska.
Come back from San Diego and get recruited back to play for Nebraska. Well, going to San Diego and having a past as a degenerate, you're surrounded by a lot of new degenerates. And I got involved with the life very quickly. I grew my hair out. I lost a ton of weight. Didn't make the football's team. I initially got invited, and then they told me they didn't have room for me.
Wow.
So I played a little bit with the practice team, and then they were like,
and then they're
"You're
like
out."
tough on that.
And I was losing weight so fast. I was pretty broke, so I was eating $5 footlongs from Subway as my 2 meals a day, just cutting it in half and eating it.
The cold cut combo.
Those
things
doing
are
that,
bomb, dude.
peanut butter and jellies. I remember my brother, Thiago, he came to visit me. I think I was 4 months into my college down there in San Diego. And he opens my fridge, and he's like, "What the heck?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "All you have in here is tortillas and cheese and chicken." He's like, "Is that all you eat?" And I said, no, I go to Subway and I get $5 footlongs.
Oh,
like, I'm
my
living the good life
goodness,
down here.
dude.
And he's like, why is there just tortillas, cheese, and chicken? And I said, because all I know how to do is make these little taquito rolls. Right? And I just make them in the microwave. I throw a tortilla in there. I throw some cheese on it, and I cook up some chicken. So he bought me a George Foreman that week that he visited me and taught me how to cook. And he taught me how to actually cook that week when he came to stay with me.
Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. Anyways, so I grew my hair out. I became a surfer. I started becoming a hippie.
I was just going to ask you if you got into surfing world.
I got into surfing. I was surfing and snowboarding almost every day when I was in San Diego.
So when we do e-foil later, like this summer, you're going to nail it. Yeah.
I will absolutely.
Yeah.
I love skating, surfing, anything with wheels.
That's perfect then, yeah.
Yeah, cars, anything goes fast. I like slow too. Raced RC cars, like I just love all the movement. Yeah. But anyways, San Diego was really good. Got involved with some of the wrong people. Sadly found out that some of my closest friends down there were addicted to heroin.
Oh, wow.
Found that out while I was at a party.
Jeez.
Yeah. And
what was your initial thought? Like, dude, all right, that's too far. I mean, yeah, I'm a degenerate, but dude, I ain't going down. Or were you like, maybe I'll give this a shot?
Nah, no. There was no giving it a shot. It was kind of like my trust was broken. So these were like my brothers. But then like randomly they would hang out and I wasn't invited.
Oh, interesting.
And so like I never understood that. I was just like, you know, they always wanted to surf, snowboard, go jump the cliffs and do all this stuff with me. But then like randomly on like a Friday or Saturday, they'd be like, hey, we're going to this party. Like, and then I'd be like, where's it at? And they would just kind of brush me off. And I'd
interesting.
Be like, all right, I'm not invited. Wow. Well, so one night I'm hanging out with these guys and they're passing a pipe around, which at the time I thought was weed. And this is Southern California. That's pretty normal.
Right.
And they're passing this thing around and I noticed that it smells very different. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? What is that thing you guys are passing over there? Like, I could already tell. And the looks on their faces while they were hitting it. And they were like, they said, it's H, bro. And I was like, H. And like, I'm a boy from Omaha, Nebraska, in the Midwest. We're not rolling around with H.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, this is not normal. It's H, bro. Come hit it. And I'm like, I'm absolutely not going to hit that. Like, what are you guys talking about here? And they're like, yeah, dude, you know, we normally don't hang out with you when we do this stuff because we didn't know how you were going to take it. But you've been with us for a couple of years now, so, like, we wanted to invite you to come do it with us. And I was like, shit, these people who I thought were my friends are actually a bunch of druggies.
Dang, dude.
And it was just this, like, eye-opening experience. Around the same time, I had a girl who I was dating break up with me.
Wow.
And then I went on a trip with a friend of mine to Northern California up to visit him. And basically, my dad had just passed away. Girlfriend had just broken up with me. And I found out that all my closest friends were heroin addicts. It all happened all at the same period.
Are you serious? Like within just a couple months or something?
It was absolutely nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. And so then when my dad passed away, I was like, well, my whole goal for moving to San Diego was just to move back to Nebraska. I just wanted to come experience it, you know, and enjoy it. And I feel like that's why I surfed and snowboarded every day. Anyways, my buddy and I have this revelation, and he says, well, your dad passed away, and he was really the only thing that was like blocking you from moving to Omaha because you wanted to make your own name for yourself. That was another thing I wanted out of California.
Sure.
And he's like, you should move back to Omaha or go look at it. So I came back and visited. Chicago calls me at the same time. Hey, bro, I know I've been living in Omaha for a while, and I don't want to leave mom, but I want to move to Colorado with my buddy Jake.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's like, but
that was the same time.
But he's like, I can't just leave mom here with Kenny, you know?
Wow.
You know, dad just passed away, so I feel bad. I don't want to just like up and leave like while she's vulnerable. And all this stuff is going on, and I'm like, all right, I might move back to Omaha then, right? We'll make sure one of us is there to support her. And so, anyways, I visit Omaha, everything goes that way, and I come back to Omaha. Now I am a little edgier. I'm this California guy. I'm used to getting in fights on the side of the highway over a traffic light. Like, I would become this California bro.
What year would that have been?
This would have been 2010.
2010, okay.
Because everybody in California threw down over everything. Dang, everything was a fight in California.
So crazy,
right?
man.
People would jump people. Like, it was just wild. SoCal.
So you get back, a little edgy, a little bit different.
I'm a little edgy. I got long hair.
Yeah.
I've been fighting jiu-jitsu now because I picked up jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and I was cage fighting when I was
from
in
Brazil.
San Diego.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and so I was like, if I'm not going to play football, I'm going to at least do something, you know,
competitive
physical. And I love
physical, yeah.
being a linebacker and hitting people.
Hitting someone.
So anyways, I come back to Omaha. My friends are all like, whoa, you've changed, dude. Like, who is this?
Yeah.
You know, who is this guy? And I'm like, this is me. This is who I am. Like, what's up? You know? And I'm on like the highway, like yelling at little people, like, hey, like pull over. Like, we're going to handle this right now. Just an idiot. Just a Southern California bro idiot.
Just an idiot.
I was an idiot. But anyway, so then I moved back and I started going to UNO, and then I opened up my first business. And my first business, well, I worked for a lot of different people doing t-shirts and graphics and things, but I got together with this guy named Mike, fantastic designer. But we started our first like branding company and logos.
Very
and so
cool.
then this was another like rebirth of myself, right? So there have been all these just different failures, like I said, right? Failing publicly in front of people, failing behind closed doors, not ever really living up to my potential, talking a whole lot of game and not doing much. So then me and Mike, I said, hey, Mike, we need to start this thing. You know, and he's like, well, we're still in school. Like, we're in college right now. Like, you want to start a business? And I'm like, yeah, we got to start a business because there's people asking me for work and they're not even asking me if we're going to school. So, like, we got to start this thing like yesterday.
Dang, dude.
And he's like, okay. And I was like, all people care about, Mike, is what can you do for them, right? I'd read enough books at this point that I was like, nobody cares if your degree came from Harvard or it came from UNO. If I go say to somebody that I just did this awesome advertisement for American Airlines, it no longer matters where I went to school. So you just have to start building up your reps. Same thing happens in sales with real estate.
Same.
You just start building them up and your confidence starts to go up. So I told Mike, I was like, we got to get started like yesterday. Like it's time. So we had no money, right? And I literally moved into this place on 10th Street in Omaha. I still love that place. I drive by it randomly now. But I moved into this little house on 10th Street, and it was being rented as an apartment, but it was a storefront on the top. Okay. And it had a little 3/4 bathroom and a kitchen, and it was like a studio with a storefront. And I asked the owner if I could turn it back into a storefront and put my bedroom in the basement.
Dang.
And he said, sure.
No way.
Yeah. So for $1,200, I rented this little storefront and I opened up Omaha Design Group.
Come on, man.
I later sold the name rights to Omaha Design Center, along with some other things.
Come on.
But yeah, so I opened up Omaha Design Group, and this was like my first like real venture, like where I was the main owner and making the main decisions.
Wow. And you're low 20s?
Low 20s. Oh yeah. Barely 21.
So
22.
cool, man.
Yeah.
And so let me pause you there real quick, because I'm thinking if there's young 20-somethings out there, like what was it like? I mean, you saw your dad obviously as an entrepreneur.
My dad was
like,
an entrepreneur. Let me give you a little background here too.
Because
at the time,
let's help people, like because there's probably people thinking in their 20s they're gonna be listening to this. Like
I was actually a bouncer when I was doing all this. That was my night job.
That was your night job, yeah.
I was a bouncer for a little place called House of Loom, and then I would pick up bottles or do whatever I needed to do because it was run by some entrepreneurs that I really respected. Man. You know, Ethan and these guys were just incredible. And then when I started my design studio, because they had seen my work ethic working for them in their restaurant or in their bars, then they were like, hey, do you want to do our posters?
Wow.
So like, it's all about relationships.
So good. Dude.
Right? So then when they introduced me, when I started doing their posters, remember how I talked about you build on reps. It's like working out.
Yeah.
You start out with air weights. Then you move into some 5-pounders, 20-pounders. So now I have these posters that I could show people, hey, we're doing these posters for House of Loom, this bar. Would you like us to do your menus?
Boom.
Would you like us to do your website?
Boom.
Would you like us to do this, do that? And I started getting business and more work that I could show people of what I could do. Then I could start charging. No longer had to be a bouncer, right? So I continued to be a bouncer, and I continued to do all these little random side hustles as long as I could until I found out where the real money was, which was websites. Because at the time, there was no AI integrations, and so you actually had to learn how to code if you were building websites.
Right.
Well, for me and my background of building computers and RC cars and anything with wheels and that whole background, like I was like, websites.
It's a natural fit.
Yeah, it's so easy. You just type on keys. You're telling me all I have to do is like type these 30 words and it's going to pop this image up. Like, guys, come on. Like, people can't just learn this. But they can't, and they don't want to.
Right.
Not only
and they'll pay for it. They're like, dude, I need it.
Yeah.
So I'll pay the money for it.
And it's not like art where somebody thinks like they're good at caricatures, so they could probably draw that sign and they don't respect it. It's total foreign language to them. So you can just charge whatever you want it. So then that's when I kind of started to find out like what my time was worth and really like what I was up to. And then I started finding people to like work with me, and I was just such a bad manager. Oh my gosh. I just knew nothing about managing people. I was very good at sales and always have been.
Sure. Young guy, not a lot of experience when it comes to managing folks.
By the way, I was an introvert growing up.
Were you really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
My nervous tick was I would talk too much because I was scared of like what people thought about me.
Interesting.
But I would prefer to be by myself in a workshop 24/7.
I wonder, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So you had some insecurities.
I had some major insecurities.
Yeah, you sure did. I wonder how, that's a whole nother, we should do a whole nother podcast on that. Like, how do you break through some of the insecurities, man?
I don't know. Well, my dad.
Your California time, dude. All your
California time helped. You want to know?
Had to,
I can pinpoint the time when I broke my insecurity.
Yeah.
And it was when I was about 12 years old. I know we're going on a tangent. Maybe that's what podcasts.
It's good. No, I love these. Yeah.
But I was about 12 years old, and we pulled up to a gas station. This is like back before credit cards were a big thing. So we always used to walk inside and pay cash.
Pay cash.
And so my dad says to me, "Hey Jack, here's a 20. Go inside and pay for our gas." And I think I was like 10 years old at the time. I was like, I'm not going to do that. What do you mean? He said, go inside by yourself, right? This is like what he's asking me to do.
That, dude.
Go inside and pay the man. Like, we got to get gas, and he's not going to let us fill up until you pay him.
Wow.
Right? Because this was right around the time. Because before that, you could actually fill your tank up and then pay.
Yeah.
And then right around the 90s, like too many people started
were dipping.
Yeah. And so then it just switched. So my dad was like already annoyed because like he was used to filling and then paying. He had a phone call or something, right, on his big old block phone. He said, you need to go inside and pay for the gas, Jack. I'm not going to be here all day, right? Used a little bit rougher words than we would use today.
Yeah, sure.
So anyways, I take my butt inside, and I go, and I meet the guy, and I look up at him over the counter, and I still, like, I remember it to this day.
Wow.
Like, I'm just this little guy with the $20 in my pocket, and I look up at the guy, and he says, he, like, treats me very respectfully. What would you like, sir? And I remember, like, looking up at him, and I said, my dad needs gas, that car over there. And he's like, what? And I was like, that car over there, that truck over there, my dad needs gas. Here's $20. And $20, I think at the time was more than enough to fill the truck. And he was like, do you want change? And I didn't even know what to say. I was like, no. So I walk back to the car. I sit in the car. My dad says, where's my change? And I go, well, I let the guy keep it. He goes, what do you mean you let him keep it? I was like, $4. Right? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't know I was supposed to bring the change. Like, you didn't give me any directions. And he's like, and my dad looks at me and he's like, if people got to give you directions the rest of your life, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Wow.
And that just like hit me. And I was
Dang, man.
Oh shit. Like, I should have enough wherewithal to not give somebody free money. Like, what were you thinking? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of clicked, but like my anxious and anxiety of like just being with a stranger. Cause like I had no problem with kids my age, but an adult, like, man, this guy has authority.
Right.
So anyways, that was like a turning point where I was like, all right, you don't give me any instructions anymore. And I'm going to be the dad that breaks these toys because I don't need the instructions because I'll figure it out. Like that's kind of like how he was. And then I kind of modeled that behavior. And then that's where I got more respect from him, the more I could go out and do things on my own without asking him.
Right.
And so then that kind of propelled me forward as well.
Yeah, that moved you forward.
So if I recommend something to anybody watching this, I do not like to give life advice, by the way. I'll give real estate advice all day. I got thousands of reps there.
Yep.
As far as life advice, I don't like to give a lot. But there was a podcast that I heard, and it was this. They had interviewed this mom because she had raised two successful children. One was a centimillionaire. If you guys don't know what that means over 100 million. And then the other was a billionaire. The two kids in two separate industries.
Interesting.
Without working with each other.
Very interesting.
And the parents weren't wealthy.
Wow. And
so they interviewed the mom to figure out how did this come to be.
Wow.
That you raised these two kids. And it was interesting because when she started talking, I said, well, my parents did that. A little bit of it. But they did a few of these things, especially my dad. And she said, one of the things is if my kids ever came home and said, I'm bored, I told them, what do you want me to do about it? So she taught her kids from a young age that it was up to them to figure out how they would spend their time.
Yep.
Right?
Big.
And this is one of the things that my dad
that's really big.
Really instilled in me was like, one, like it's not my job to figure out what you should be doing. And two, if you can't figure out what you're doing for yourself, everyone's going to figure it out for you.
And
And so like this is
that's really good.
This continually occurred in my life and helped develop me into who I am today. So for anybody that's listening right now, that's a parent,
yeah,
I do this with my kids, and now I've watched it like really take off in school. And like both my two eldest, the teachers are always like, "Your kid is a leader." When it comes to doing like an activity, they take charge and they tell the other students what to do, and I'm not surprised at all.
Yep.
Because I ask them to do things, and they ask me how to do it, and my first question is, "How do you think you should do it?"
That's so good, dude.
And then even if I know it's wrong, I say, "Do it." And then they're like, "Why'd you let me fail, Dad?" And I said, "Because you'd be asking me what to do next, and you already know."
So good.
So
I've noticed that about you. Even just our brief little time when your son was riding his new little Razor.
Oh gosh, he's a tyrant.
That was, but even just that was fun because you're, dude. Let him live life. Let him send it. Like like they're gonna fumble. They're gonna get banged up a bit. Like, but they need that.
Yeah.
There's, I think too many. Anyway, that's a whole nother tangent. So So let's okay. So keep on going. So you got the design deal. You got the website deal. Like,
and I think it's going really well in my head because I'm selling websites and photos and menus and all this really cool stuff. And I just think I'm God's gift to earth.
Yep.
And thank God I'm here. Right.
Yep.
That's like where I am at the time.
Sure.
Like just thinking I'm the man.
I'm the man. Yeah.
I'm the man. Mm-hmm. I end up signing on. I probably can't say their name.
Yeah.
NDAs.
Just say like.
But I ended up signing
company.
on this large beef company in Nebraska that does a certain kind of beef.
Okay.
I also signed on this large gun rights website, and I signed on another really just cool business, another one that I can't actually talk about.
Yep, it's fine.
Just because when you're doing their marketing, you're not supposed to talk about them before or after the relationship, which makes it really hard to show your portfolio, by the way.
Yes, it does.
But anyways, I'd sign on all these huge businesses. Well, we were only doing $20,000 in revenue a month, and I had 4 employees, so I'm paying myself minimum wage.
Yep.
When I signed on these 3 companies and these bigger checks, we went from $20,000 a month in revenue to $100,000 a month in revenue.
bet.
And I only had about 30 or 40 grand going out. So now I had 50 to 60 grand that was either going to me or to growing the business, and it was pretty cool. This all flipped within about a 3-month period after being broke for like 3 years.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So from zero to hero, like overnight, basically.
0 to hero. Well, the same week that I get the call from all 3 of these companies that they're ready to sign. Well, one of them signed on to us with us a couple months earlier, but 2 of the bigger companies call me to sign on. I then get another call from one of the companies, and they say, "Hey, we're ready to sign with you, but you have to fire one of your employees."
Whoa.
And I'm like,
That's interesting.
Yeah. And they're like, you have to fire one of your guys. And I was like, "Well, who is it?" And they told me who it was, and he was actually my partner.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like,
wow.
We kind of need this contract to grow and survive, but we also need my partner. Because at the time I was out running sales, and he was in the organization actually like managing everything. So like I would go and make ideas with the clients, and then I would come back and then tell my team what we had to do or get done. And then, I would meet them at certain parts of the job.
Sure.
And they wanted me to get rid of the guy who was running the team. Dang. And I'm like, what happened? Right? And they're like, well, he yelled at one of our employees, and we can't work with a business that continues to keep somebody like that hired. And they didn't even realize he was a partner. And this was a huge learning lesson for me because I took the wrath of God to my partner and said, how could you speak to somebody else like this? Didn't even ask him what happened, what his side of the story was.
Oh, man.
I was just, how could you do this? I worked my tail off to get us this contract and yada, yada. And I just came at him. Didn't know he was depressed. Didn't know what he was going through in his life. Hadn't asked him how he was doing in months.
You're so good at that now,
just being like.
What a great lesson.
Yeah, it was a huge lesson. I still feel bad about it to this day. And then I remember like being like, we're going to lose this deal unless you issue an apology, and they want me to fire you. And I was like, I can't fire you. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're an owner in this company, and he's tired of getting paid minimum wage like I was. I didn't know how hard it was riding on him.
Man.
Right? Because I was doing little side gigs and he wasn't. So he was
only even more. Yeah.
He was even more stringent.
Dang.
So we had employees making more than we were. Right? So anyways, he ends up just one day not walking into the office.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Golly.
It's like the milkman story with your own business partner.
Dang, dude.
So I literally show up, and Monday goes by and he's not there, and Tuesday goes by and he's not there, and the team's like, hey, like we have got these objectives, but he's not here. Like, can we run these by you, Jack? And I'm like, yeah, maybe he's sick or something. His phone's off, nothing. 2 weeks goes by, nothing.
Oh my goodness.
So now like, you know, I've signed on these contracts. I have this one bigger company, and I'm sitting there, and now the employees start fighting each other. Right? Because I start giving them more responsibility than they needed at the time. So I started trying to give them parts of his job. So I said, hey, you're going to do this from now on. They're like, did my pay go up? And I'm like, no. Like, you're going to do this and your old job. Right? So then I was like, and own your job. So then now these guys had, without any true leader, started just, the whole thing started caving in. There was mutiny. I remember my copywriter, I fired him like immediately because he had told the other people that they needed to strike against me.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that I could raise all their pays at once. And there was just mutiny.
Just straight coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Like, what the
When I
heck?
heard about this, I was like, you're out. Best copywriter I've ever known in my life. Like, still to this day, best speechwriter, copywriter.
My goodness.
And I had to fire him. And I was like, dude, you're trying to like drop my whole company. Anyways, yeah, it was just a wild time. So then I end up saying, you know what? I'm a bad leader. I go to Thiago because Thiago has been a lot like my dad. When my dad wasn't around because of business, he would teach me sports. You know, as I got older, he taught me how to cook. You know, and it wasn't my dad's fault. My dad probably wanted to teach me some of those things, but I didn't want to hear it from him because I wanted to compete with him. So rather than trying to be on his same team, I was competition.
Got it.
I'm going to do better than you, right? Which is a tough place to be in a relationship.
Yep.
A lot of people don't, you know.
For sure.
It's tough to compete with your mom, brother, spouse, etc.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really don't get the best version of yourself.
Yeah, you want to compliment, not compete. Yeah.
You want to compliment, not compete.
Yep.
And so, anyways, I go to Thiago and I tell him everything that's going on. And Thiago's doing pretty well in life at this time. And he says, well, so you're broke? You have all these contracts signed. And I'm like, yeah, but I have to like give work to get the monthly retainers. And he's like, well, why don't I help you buy your partner out? Because now I'd finally gotten a hold of my partner, found out he was having an alcohol issue. He was depressed, right? And
Tough.
he had gone out and found a new job.
Wow.
And was too scared to tell me.
Oh, so tough.
Yeah. And then he tells me that he wants me to buy half of the company from him, at first for a lot of money. Then when I turn him down, he tries to give it away to me for free. And I'm sitting there I had signed up $300,000 worth of debt at that point between leases and internet bills and all this kind of stuff. Like I had 3 more years of this stuff that needed to get paid off or canceled or whatever. And I'm just like, I mean, I can't pay you $1 and take on all this debt.
Man.
So Thiago says, well, I'll help you while you figure it out. You just need to hire another person like him. And I was like, well, to be honest with you, like I don't truly know what I'm doing right now. And I think that it would be a bad use of your money. And he was like, but your work is amazing and you're getting more clients. And I said, that's the part I'm good at. I can go get work like nobody's business.
Yep.
But I think I'm ruining these people's lives. I just had to fire my best friend last week.
Yep.
You know, because I didn't know how to handle him. And so then Thiago's like, are you sure about this? And like, yeah, like I really can't help you. And I'm like, no, like I just got to shut this thing down. So I ended up handing my clients off to another boutique design firm. I sold the name to Omaha Design Center here in town, and sold all the furniture and everything. And then my landlord, who was really nice when we met, was not very happy with me. This is a little real estate 101 for the state of Nebraska. If you break a lease, and check with your attorneys and Google and everything else, but if you break a lease in Nebraska and they say you have to pay me the rest of the lease, in the state of Nebraska, they can't charge double rent. So if they let somebody else lease that same location,
Interesting.
you no longer have to pay.
And they can't.
So if you're on the hook for 2 more years, pay by month, not the whole thing at once.
Interesting.
Because as soon as they try to lease it to somebody else, which they will, they don't want it to sit empty and not know if you're not going to pay one day.
Right.
So they're going to try to lease it to somebody else.
As soon as they fill it, then you're off the hook.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yep.
That's a great little tip.
Yeah. So anyways.
So that happened with you then?
Happened with me. So I moved into my apartment. I had a little bit of money from the sale and from a couple other things going on. And I started gaining weight like crazy. I almost went bald.
Wow.
Think about this process. Long-haired surfer.
Wow, dude.
Hippie guy.
Oh
really
my goodness.
skinny. California. not working out, starting to go bald.
Wow.
Yeah, just crazy. Just
Interesting.
Run of years. I've lived a lot of lives.
You have. You have.
So this apartment at the time. I remember it was really cheap. It was like $800 studio in Little Italy. Like free mice in the floor. great kickback. It was so crappy that when my family members would come there to pick me up for like any sort of events, they would not even go.
They wouldn't even go in. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like they didn't want to see the inside. They didn't want to walk up the stairs. They were scared they were going to get robbed.
Golly.
That's how crappy this place was. So I exit this company and I'm in my apartment and I don't know what to do. And I started drinking a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Started drinking a lot. Didn't think I had a drinking problem at the time. The girlfriend I had at the time told me I was an alcoholic. And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "I still love you, but like you're an alcoholic." And I said, "I'm not an alcoholic." I said, "Alcoholics are guys that are not in control." And she said, "Just because you don't black out or get drunk every time you drink, because you drink every day all the time makes you an alcoholic."
Boom.
And I was like, "It's not normal to
Loved
drink."
you enough to tell you the truth, man.
It's not normal to drink a handle every day?
Jeez.
Yeah. That's the crazy part is I was drinking a handle or a bottle and I wasn't even getting drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Like that's how
not healthy.
That's how my body is. I know it's not healthy at all. So anyways, she called me out and then I had to like kind of sit there and look at the bottles in the trash can and my life that had swirled again, once again, bottom of failure. And just really take a minute and look at myself in the mirror. And I was such a good talker that I still had friends and girlfriends and all that kind of stuff. But like, I was not proud of who I was becoming or where I was headed.
Yep. You look in the mirror, you're like, how the heck did I get here? All
How
right,
did I
dude,
get here?
this ain't what I'm all about. Yeah.
Like, dude, you just, like, you want to talk about, thinking about suicide and
Yep.
depression. I started to spiral into that.
Same. Yeah. I went through that too.
Yeah. It was a really tough time in my life. And, I get a call from a friend of mine who's a contractor. And I had done his website and his branding. And he said, "Jack, what are you doing this summer?" And I said, "I don't know. I'm just hanging out. I got a little bit of money right now. I'm just going to hang out and enjoy it." I ran out of the money as quickly as it came. And how's that contracting thing looking? So I started selling roofs and remodel jobs.
Wow.
And I didn't know hardly anything about houses other than I was the head handyman at our 150-year-old house we lived in Harvey Oaks, or 100-year-old house in Harvey Oaks. Jeez. Right? So I was the guy who fixed everything at the house, and that was about my experience in contracting. So anyways, I also didn't realize how brilliant of an idea, and I really hope that my kids have my wife's IQ, because I didn't realize how brilliant of an idea it would be to become a roof salesman when you're scared of heights.
Wow.
So that was really fun.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I don't have to get on every roof, right? You can see it from the ground. No, you have to get on every roof. You have to meet insurance people there. Goodness. And I had a deathly fear of heights.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Like I was the kid who closed their eyes on every roller coaster and like just let it be over.
Yeah.
All right, now
All
I
right,
proved everybody
am I still here? Okay.
I'm the man, right? Yeah. But anyways, so I get over my fear of heights. I sell roofs. I am damn good at it. I'm really, really good at it. Man, I was lucky. I felt like I had found my calling. Right?
Wow.
We had gotten this crazy hailstorm.
So big, man.
Hail that had gone through houses, left holes in the houses that were this big and turned houses into cheese wheels up north of us. It was like the most insane hail ever. Like I'm talking like through the roof.
Oh my god.
It scares me sometimes
like
when I'm sleeping.
Softball hail storm.
I have a 2-story house and I'm like, I still think about some of those roofs and those houses that I visited back when I was selling roofs because they were cheese wheels. I'm telling you, like,
wow.
Yeah, don't be under a skylight in a storm. Just trust me on that.
Yeah.
Don't be under a skylight. Anyways, so I sold these roofs and I'm doing this job and everything's going really well. And I love it. I feel like I'm in my calling, right? And I'm like, I can sell these jobs and these guys can manage all these people and it's however much I can sell, everything's dandy. And they're like, "Hey, Jack, you should get your real estate license. You've got this design background and you're going to find the house and then you're going to design the house and we're going to fix it up and then you're going to sell the house. You're going to get paid twice, Jack." And I'm like, yeah. But I like selling roofs, so like you guys chill on that.
Wow.
And then one of my buddies calls me, "Jack, I just flipped this house, bro. I know you're in contracting. You should have that real estate license too. You'd sell this house."
Golly.
And I hear this from him. Then I hear from another person something about they wish I was in real estate and not just contracting. And I'm finally like, you know what? And my dad was a real estate developer, was one of his jobs. And so like I never wanted to be in real estate. I never wanted to be in banking. There was two things you're not going to catch me doing.
Interesting.
Real estate or banking.
Because I want to blaze my own trail. Yeah.
And so anyways, the real estate thing, and he's like, you really need to get your license. The contractor comes back to me. All right, it's time. Get your license. So I start studying to take my test. It's about a week or so after I got my test, or right before I got my test. I can't remember the exact timeline. And I get a call from the contractor, and he says, hey, Jack, I got some bad news. We can't pay you for a while. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't pay me? I'm on commission. I sell my own jobs. What do you mean you can't pay me? I make my own money for you, right? Like I know how the whole business works.
Right.
And he says, we took a deposit from somebody. We spent the deposit. We ended up having to pay back that deposit from the deposits we took from other jobs. And it's called rob and Peter to pay Paul. And almost every contractor does some version of it. Mm-hmm. But they had done it too much and got caught on the wrong end of it.
Dang.
And I'm telling you, Todd, I've seen multi-million-dollar contracting businesses that do it. It's pretty normal. Should not do it.
Oh, man.
But a lot of businesses do it. Sadly, these guys did it, and then they, got caught with their pants down. Yeah.
What year would that have been, Jack?
This would have been in 2013, 2014, around that time.
So you're sitting here, hey man, like
real estate. What's this real estate thing about?
Like, do I jump? Do I
jump? What am I going to do? So what do I do immediately? I need money now.
Right.
Websites.
Flip. Oh, back to websites.
Back to websites. I can do them like the back of my hand. I can do branding, logos, and I'm going to get this real estate license and see if this real estate thing's any good.
Got it.
All right. So then I get my real estate license and I start working for this. I decide that real estate's really cool, and I didn't really like making websites. That was the bald version, overweight Jack that sat behind a computer all day. Mm-hmm. I just didn't like that version of me. I like to be out with the people and
active.
I'm an introvert that trained myself to be an extrovert. Now I'd really felt it fully. And so then I wanted to be active and walking and doing things and meeting people and driving and not just stuck in an office all day behind a computer. It's very grueling.
Yeah.
So I get my real estate license. I decide I do not know what I'm doing. I know a lot about contracting and a lot about houses, but I do not know anything about sales. So I need to go be an assistant for somebody so that I can learn the ropes on their job. So I can get paid to train. That's
interesting.
how I looked at it. So I think I took like a $25 or $20 an hour assistant job at the time, and I started over. Now, here's one repetitive thing throughout my life.
Interesting.
How many times I started over?
Wow.
Football started over. This started over. This started over. This started over. Just constantly. Each different thing. San Diego, move back to Omaha, start over. Go to college, start over. Start a business, start over. Go contracting, start over. Real estate license, start over. Wow. So when I talk about failure, every single one of those things that didn't work out, I'm not doing today. They were all failures, and that's okay.
It was training. It was learning.
Okay. I failed at football.
Yep.
Failed at school. I failed at. A lot of people are scared to define things as failures. They like to look at them as building blocks. I have no problem calling them failures.
Interesting.
Right? A success is a success, and I don't get confused on what that is. But these things were things that I excused myself from.
Wow, man.
Right? I could be a football coach. I could go still build websites, but I excused myself from. I failed at it. I didn't know how to handle myself, and it wasn't my calling, which is totally fine. So anyways, I got into real estate, working for this guy, being his assistant, and he's so excited. I'm like the best assistant he's ever had. He tells me this all the time. He's like, man, you're so good and so efficient, and so good with the customers and good on computers, and who are you? Right? And I'm just like, this is breezy. This is nothing compared to the stuff I've been doing. This is so easy. You guys think this is hard? And
you're just running downhill.
Yeah. I'm just this is money. Anyways, data input, I can do that back of my hand. So I do all this stuff for him. We're selling houses. He's selling 5 houses a month. But when I started working with him as his assistant, we got him up to 15 houses a month.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah. And I was all I was a showing assistant and an office assistant.
Wow.
And he was selling about 15 houses a month.
So
I had my
impressive.
license though. As soon as I got my license, I said, hey man, I want to sell some houses.
Right.
This is cool and all. And the big eye-opening thing happened was when I was getting paid 50% a buyer, right? I was getting little $20 an hour and then 50% a buyer, and it was a decent deal. But then when I saw him do a listing commission, which was a lot more than you got on the buy side, and I only got a 20% cut on a referral from my best friend. It was all teed up. That house that you had remodeled that was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting really upset. And I felt like I had gotten screwed over by my own
Yep, that makes
mentor.
sense. Yeah.
And so I
why
said,
didn't he give me a bigger clip
why didn't you
or
give
something?
me a bigger cut and actually teach me how to do it? Because the hardest part about it wasn't even the check that I got. It was the fact that if somebody came to me with the same opportunity, I couldn't take it. And I was like, wow, I'm really not progressing.
Wow.
And you know the adage, if you're not growing, you're dying?
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
And I wasn't growing anymore. So another team recruited me, and I went and worked for them. This like really high caliber, awesome team out of Berkshire Hathaway, where you're currently at.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go over there and I start working for those guys, and they show me the ropes. And man, the top team leader, Chris was his name, my mentor, knew houses like nobody's business.
Wow.
I now know houses like Chris did, and this was 12 years ago. I only dreamed of ever like being as good as him. I mean, the guy could pull up to a house, not look at a seller's disclosure and not look at any info, and he could tell you how many square feet the house was, probably how many bedrooms it had, pretty close, like within a bedroom.
Wow.
He could tell you what year the roof was put on just by looking at the shingles.
My goodness.
Like the guy was just like a whiz.
Wow.
Right? And he was just shown so many houses and was selling like 100 houses a year that he just knew all these houses and all these neighborhoods. And when a hailstorm had hit this neighborhood or when this had happened in this neighborhood, he just had it all memorized. And I was just like, man, like I want to hire you. Like I feel bad having a real estate license knowing there's people like you in the business. Like crap. Like how do I get to your level?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's so cool. And they recruited you to be on that team.
They recruited me to be on that team.
That's pretty cool, man.
And so, but training in real estate, as you know, is almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most talked about, least actual trained profession in the
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So
that's why I was always grateful for the education that you would give me.
That's why I opened Meraki Realty Group.
Super cool, yeah. To be able to train.
So that people wouldn't have to fail.
Yeah.
Failure has been so repetitive in my life that if there's anything that my businesses do, if there's one thing that they help accomplish for all the people who work in them, it's that they at least have the opportunity to understand that it wasn't the business or the circumstances that failed them. It was just a choice. And I would set people up with every single
set them up for success
opportunity possible and every tool that I had to my disposal so that they could stand on the shoulders of giants and go even further.
So cool, man. I love that.
That is my dream with Meraki, and that's my dream with my handyman service. You know, it's a lot of like business owners try to justify how much money they make by saying, oh, other people couldn't handle the stress or going into debt or doing this. And most people don't know the difference. I mean, when you work for somebody else and you go into debt on a 30-year mortgage, it's the same as going into debt on a business.
Boom.
So you're doing the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah. So
you learn the ropes here, through that group, and then
I learned the ropes through these guys, and these guys have absolutely no training. Worst training of all time. If they ever hear this podcast, I'm sorry. You guys know who you are.
Because it was basically watch what I do, learn what I'm doing.
And honestly, I thought it was the worst training. It was actually better than most because they at least made time for me to watch them do what they did. And they came to the office, which a lot of real estate agents don't do.
Right.
They would actually do their calls in the office and I could listen in on them.
Okay, good.
So they were actually better than most. I should take that back.
Yeah,
but it was monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
And if you do it my style.
Yep.
Which I didn't have either of their personalities. Right? One guy was a people person, one guy was a house person.
Yep.
And I was a little bit of both.
Yep.
I wasn't quite either.
So you're learning probably a little bit by observation.
I was, but I didn't really get along with one of them, and I got along really well with the other one. And so it was just this weird thing. And so, anyways, their training is, here's a book. It's full of phone numbers, and you're going to call all the phone numbers. And then when you get somebody on the phone, you come knock on our door and we'll take over.
Oh, man.
And we're going to show you how to do everything. Like, you're mad you didn't get that listing, right? If you get a listing, you're doing the whole thing. And I'm like, sweet, I just got to get the listing.
Wow.
All right, I know what to do now. So I spend days on this freaking phone book, right? It's like an old school, paper hitting things. And there's other agents in the room that are kind of laughing at me, hearing my calls. And I'm just like good agents that are in the room on the same team, hearing my calls, and they're just like, wow, he just keeps going. I'm gonna go until somebody tells me I can walk into their house. And so I finally get somebody on the phone. I think I'm like 4 days into making calls for like 8 hours a day. And somebody finally picks up. And this is like my 3rd week, I want to say, on this team. And somebody finally picks up. And they're like, yeah, we're thinking about selling our house. And I'm like,
you're like, yes.
I'm like, okay. Phone on me. Like, all right. Well, when can I come over?
Play the slow roll. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure like what I should say next because these guys really didn't even give me a script. And I'm like, when can I come over and take a look at the house? I can't price the house unless I see it. And they're like, oh, how about Tuesday at 3:30? Tuesday at 3:30 works, right?
Let's do it.
I have no schedule at the time. So I go to my team leaders, and I'm like, guys, I got an appointment. And they're like, bullshit. They look at me, and they're like, no way. It's impossible. Nobody's ever got an appointment out of that list. And I said, that list? What is that list? And they said, those are cold leads from 5 years ago.
Oh, my.
We gave those to you as a joke.
No way.
And I was like, what? And they're like, we want to see if you were actually going to do it.
Wow.
And I said, I was like, in my head, I was like, wow, like, bastards. Like, I've been killing myself over here going through this list, and nobody picks up, and the few people that do want to just hang up on me. And why? What do you mean I want to sell my house? I have no interest in selling my house. And now I know why.
Oh.
These are leads they had gotten 5 years ago on their website that never picked up their phone 5 years ago. And now they're going to get an appointment out of them now.
Oh.
It's like the worst leads of all time. I might as well have cold called a neighborhood. That would have been better.
That would have been better.
It would have been better than these people.
So
anyway,
you did the deal?
I get the listing, I do the deal, man, and I'm like riding a high. These guys teach me how to do the deal. It was fantastic. And I go on like a 3-month spree where I sold like 4 or 5 houses, and this is my first year like selling on my own. And I was like,
man.
I'm the man. Like, I got this, right? Here I go. Back up the roller coaster. And then I fail again. Mm-hmm. And 0 closings. And then one 0 commission month goes by. Oh crap. 2 0 months go by, and I go, ooh, this is not fun. I just made 20 grand 2 months ago, and now I have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then my inspector asked me if I'll build him a website. I'm like, heck yeah, I want to build you this website. And then inside, I'm like, Jack, if you build this website, you're never going to sell real estate.
Oh my goodness, dude!
And this was another turning point in my life.
Burn the boats.
Yeah. So this is when I burned the boats. So I go back to the inspector and I said, I don't do websites anymore.
Wow, man.
And he says, what do you mean? And I said, well, I sell real estate now. I decided in my mind, because I had enough money from the 2 months previous, that I could maybe make it 2 more months in the industry. And if I couldn't make it work in that 2 months, I would go back to doing design and branding.
Wow.
And so I told myself, you're
dude.
not going to do a website. Well, he sweet talked me, so I made that the last website I ever did. So that inspector's website was the last website, other than like my Meraki one. Other than like websites from my companies, I'll work on those here and there just for fun. So I did that website, and I said I will never do one ever again. I never did one ever again after that. And I told myself, you're either going to make this work or you're going to switch industries. But you're not going to 2-step your life anymore.
Interesting.
And half dip here, half dip there. So I went full in. I went all in. Burn the boats. Got all into real estate.
And then you started getting some momentum, obviously.
Absolutely.
And then
yeah. I started taking things a lot more seriously. I had built up a couple of wins. I had some stuff to build off of. Me and those team leaders started not getting along because the more I knew, the more I was asking them questions, the more I didn't need them, and the more I was questioning why they were taking so much of my check.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Natural progression.
It was a natural progression.
Needs to happen.
So I went to a team with a better commission structure.
Yep. Makes sense.
And then when I got to that team, I started teaching the team, and I became known for multiple offers. Like I was the guy who won all the multiple offers.
Yep.
It's really not that hard to win multiple offers if you understand people. A lot of people fail to understand people. People don't just care about money; they care about how good they feel. You have to make not only the agent but the seller feel really good.
So good, Jack. That's
what I focus on.
That's that's a tip right here, man. Pick that one up. Yeah, that's really good.
And I learned it from YouTube. So I said, well, Omaha's going into this multiple offer market. Who's been in a multiple offer market? Well, Seattle had been in a multiple offer market for 10 years.
For a long time.
So there were agents on YouTube giving free tips on how to win multiple offers.
So learn what they do.
So I started learning what they do. Then I started doing it. Yep. I got agents calling me.
How did you
I've
get
never
that?
seen an escalation clause. What the heck is this?
Yep. So you had to like coach them up on escalation.
Yeah,
Escalation
I'm coaching
clauses.
agents who've been in the business 5 years, 10 years, 20 years on how to do an escalation clause.
Yep.
And I'm the first one who starts doing it in the Omaha area.
So cool.
And I start doing all these just like random tactics. I'm going to send cleaners over after you move out and cleaners over to your new house. Do you know how much that means to people?
Big
people
time.
Love that kind of stuff.
I do that.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So just stuff like that. So anyways, I started winning all these multiple offers. I'm on this real estate team, and I started training the team how to win multiple offers. I then started losing multiple offers to my own tactics, to agents I had taught how to do it.
You trained them.
Not only that, but they would walk into the office on Monday and say, "Hey, Jack, did you know I was the other agent that got that deal? And I did what you told me to do." And I was like, my clients couldn't do it on that house, right?
That's so hilarious.
So I started kind of getting upset, and I'm like, what the heck? I am paying to be here, and I'm paying to not win these deals.
Win the deals, yeah.
So I'm very upset at this point. I ended up getting in an argument with my team leader at the time over a totally different transaction. It was between me and another agent on the team. And I ended up getting an argument with him. And the day I walk in to quit, he fires me. All at the same time.
I remember you telling me some of that story.
Yeah. And I'm not going to go too far into detail on that. But he fires me and I quit on the same day. I literally had brought a box with me to pack my things. And he asked me for a meeting, and I wanted to meet with him to tell him I was going to quit. And he literally beat me to the punch. And I said, well, that's why I brought my box. Because I was going to quit. It's
crazy, man.
Goodbye. All right? So then I go solo. I go solo agent. And I go to our broker, and I say, hey, I need my own office. He said, wow, you really think you're hot shit. And I wasn't. I had no numbers to back it. I had barely sold any houses at all. And I said, well, I need my own office because like I'm actually going to be here and making calls. That's how I've made my business so far, is open houses and making calls. And I need a place where I can do that, where I won't be disturbed. And I've bounced around all these teams, so please don't put me on another team. I don't want that. I'm going to go solo. I want to make my calls, and I want to be in my zone. And he says, this is a big deal, Jack. You're the only agent that's not a producer that will have their own office in this entire building. And I said, well, what do you mean not a producer? And he said, well, you got to be doing about $5 million a year or 20 deals a year. And I said, no, I get that. But like, I have 7 transactions and $2.5 million closing this spring. So it sounds like I will be a producer by the end of this year. And he says, yeah, at the end of this year. And I said, perfect. So then I went and I talked to another brokerage, a couple of brokerages, and they all offered me offices, but I didn't want to leave. So I went back to him and I said, hey, I know you said you can't give me this office until I'm a producer, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to take that back. Because either I get an office at this building or I have one waiting for me at another.
Right.
But I want to give you a chance first.
Yep.
And he said, when would you like the keys to your new office?
Wow.
So I ended up getting my new office.
Dang.
And then he says, if you don't produce, I'm taking it away.
Dang,
within
that's fair.
2 months.
That's fair, yeah.
Right? So he set these like things of
That's
like,
fair, yeah.
you must sell to keep your own office.
I love that.
Right.
Give you some incentive. We don't
gives
lack
me
ability, we lack
Gives
incentive.
me a badass office too. Like, it's on the first floor. I got Deb Sizek, a legend of real estate
Yeah.
on one corner. I got Teresa Elliott, a legend of real estate on the other corner.
Dang.
And I'm like smack dab in the middle next to the kitchen.
Let's go.
Right? Like I got these legends around me. And I was so excited and I was like, all right, this is awesome. And so anyways, I'm doing that. And finally I do produce. I end up becoming a top 10 solo agent at the brokerage that year. And a friend of mine, Eric, is on Teresa's team. And he's inspired by me going solo and having success. And he wants to go solo. Well, at the time we were running out of office space. And so my broker says, Jack, we really need you to like partner up with somebody or let somebody come stay in your office. You're not there 24/7 anyways. Like what if we found somebody, you like to make your calls in the late morning. What if we find somebody that wants to be there in the late afternoon so we don't have to run into them? And
Smart.
I'm like, no.
No, it's mine.
Every time I share with agents, I lose. I'm not doing that anymore. Right? Like, this is my pot of gold. You know what I mean? Like, stay away. Anyways, Eric is like, Eric walks into my office one day and he says, I did it. And I said, what? He says, I did it. I'm no longer on the real estate team. I'm solo, just like you.
Wow.
And I'm like, holy shit. Like, holy crap. And I stand up and I give him a hug. And I'm like, are you going to join another team? He's like, no, I'm going solo, man. I'm gonna work a little bit in the bar to make some extra money on the weekends until I've sold enough that I don't have to work at the bar anymore.
Wow.
And he's like, and I'm almost there. And I was like, you're going to do it, man. You're going to do it. This is the best thing that ever happened. And he's like, yeah, only one problem. And I said, what's the problem? He's like, they want to put me in that cubicle out there, but I want to be in an office like this. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, if I don't choose, somebody's going to choose for me. Right? Let's bring it back to that earlier on.
Nice.
And so then I go back to Vince, or our broker at the time, and I said, hey, I've got good news. I will allow somebody to work in my office. I know you've been bothering me about this, and I've turned you down every time. But Eric has just left his team, and he can office with me. So Eric and I shared an assistant, and we just took off like rocket ships.
Golly, that's so cool.
And this is the birth of Meraki. And I'm not quite ready to start a real estate team. This is in 2017 now, because I'd spent 1 year alone in 2016.
Wow.
And this is in 2017. And Eric is like, we need to start our own team. Like, we are the future of real estate. And I'm like, we barely know what we're doing. Like, we both just left our day jobs. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it.
And he's like, no, like, we got this. Like, we're good. Like, we got this. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. And he's like, but one thing, like, I already have the name. And here I come from a branding website background. I'm like, oh, this will be good. And he says, Meraki. And I was like, what does it mean? And what Meraki means is to put a piece of yourself in everything that you do.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's like putting like a piece of your soul or your life in everything that you do.
Injected in there.
Remember earlier I talked about
passion.
How a job is simply just an exchange of time for money.
For money.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's time for money.
Yep.
Right? So this exchange of like, putting a piece of yourself in everything that you do, I was like, well, that's cool. It's existential.
That's purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. And I really want to sell some houses. So let's do it. Let's go with that name.
Dang.
And let's move on. Right?
Come on.
And I'm like, that's a cool name. I love the meaning behind it. Neither of us are Greek. We've had a lot of people ask us that too. Like,
I bet.
Which one of you guys are Greek? Like, neither of us. Just like it. Which is really funny because also my other company is called Villa My Home. Villa is also Greek. Right. I have another company called Olympus Closing.
Yes, which by the way, don't let me forget, because I want to end the show with Villa My Home, because I want to get that word out. Yeah.
I know. And this story it's taken forever. But anyways, Eric and I started Meraki
good
Realty
to
Group.
Document, because again, I think part of this whole idea is we wanted to start this real estate podcast to help people. Think about this. You've been gracious enough to share a lot of your story. There's a lot of people that want to snap their fingers and be Jack Harvey.
Yeah.
The fact is, dude, you've gone through a lot to get to where you're at today. And I'll also add, I think, and I speak for my own life, people will look at my life now and they'll be like, oh, it must be nice to, whatever.
Yeah.
You didn't see when we started the church when I had 3 jobs and I was working a traveling bookstore and then we started at my mom's basement and then Keywood so there's a lot of things, and I'm glad that it wasn't right away. I'm glad that there was a lot of stuff that we had to work through and a lot of character formation, and because I think a lot of people go too fast and they have too much success too quick, but they don't have the character to withhold that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now they melt and they fold under pressure of
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So I love that you worked through all that. So you do the real estate team, and then eventually you start your own brokerage, and that was, this has been
So I do the real estate team, and then Byron, who's one of my clients in 2016, I sold him his first house. Mm-hmm. And he's working at Target at the time, and Eric and I are starting to now finally get so many leads that we're letting stuff fall through the cracks. Mm-hmm. We can't take on all the leads that we're getting. We have too many people that want to work with us, and we're not very efficient ourselves. Not efficient enough at the time, so we were kind of maxing out what we could do.
Absolutely.
As individual agents, because people are going to move regardless of whether you're with another client or not.
That's right. So
now I'm like, okay, Eric, like we got this team, like we got to start recruiting. And then Byron is the best buyer that I've ever had. Let me tell you about Byron.
I like that dude. I don't really know him, but the vibe I get around him. He gave that one talk at your I think it was like a calendar planning deal, goal setting.
Yeah, the goal setting.
Phenomenal guy.
So I get a call. First of all, he was a referral from another friend of mine. And he says, oh, I haven't gotten financed yet. And I say, okay, perfect. I'm going to hook you up with my lender. And he's going to get you pre-approved, and then we're going to start shopping and looking for houses. And Byron's just really cool the whole time. He said, all right, that sounds good. Then I get a call from the lender. The lender calls me and he says, who is this Byron that you just referred to me? said, what do you mean? And he said, he's 20. I can't remember how old he was at the time. He said he's 23 years old. Yeah, I think he said he's 23 years old. He owns 2 cars with no payments, owns a motorcycle with no payment, works 3 jobs, and has a perfect credit score.
Legend.
And I'm like...
Setting himself up. There.
Now at this point, I'm looking him
there
up
it is
on
for the
Facebook.
Listeners right there.
Now I'm looking him up on Facebook
yourself
because
in
I
the
hadn't
right
even
place.
looked into his personal person. You know what I mean? He's just a referral at this point. And I'm like, all right, now I got to know who this
Heck
Byron
yeah,
guy
dude.
is.
Let's go.
Because I've looked at hundreds of people's credit scores and jobs and income and what they do with their money and how much money they make. And it's really cool, but it's also a little scary, some of the situations people put themselves in. And so, like, seeing a young person who was just so far ahead of the crowd, you know, like, wow, 2 paid off cars and a motorcycle.
Boom.
Perfect credit score and money for a down payment.
Come on. What?
23?
Yeah.
Out of college with no debt?
Dude.
It's just wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so then I started taking him seriously. So now when I'm going on the showings, I'm trying to learn from him.
Wow, dude.
I'm at these showings and I'm like watching what he does, how he walks, how he talks, what he's doing. Cause I'm like, I wasn't me at 23.
That's right.
And I was like, this guy's going to be a superhero one day.
That's exactly right.
This kind of background.
Yep.
This is who he is at 23. Watch out, world.
Yep.
So, and he's just a great talker.
Yep.
And just a great person. And he says to me, he does the thing that the best real estate clients do. I'll tell you what, if you want the best deal on me selling your house, helping you buy a house, et cetera, you can say these magic words. Say these magic words to your real estate agent and watch how easy the deal becomes. I trust you. Do what you think is right.
Oh my goodness, dude.
See what happens.
Say that again, dude.
If a client tells me, I trust you, you just do what you think is right.
Oh my goodness.
I now take the full responsibility. I end up discounting commissions, anything that I can possibly do to make this deal as sweet as possible.
Simple and
to
sweet.
Prove them right.
Yes.
Right? I
so
try
good,
as
dude.
much as possible. And Byron
Pro
says
tip.
those magic words to me. And I'm like, I'm going to find you a heck of a deal.
Heck of a deal.
Like this,
I'm going next level.
Is going to be amazing. So we're out there looking at houses. I get a call from one of my other realtor friends, and he says, Jack, I need your help. And I'm like, what's up, dude? And he's like, I really need your help. This deal just fell apart. This really sweet old lady, her deal just fell apart. She needs to close in 2 weeks. You're the only realtor I know with clients that can close in 2 weeks. That's one of the way I win multiple offers, is that I take my clients through underwriting before we write the offer.
Smart.
So that if the house is vacant, I can close 2 weeks faster than anyone else.
So
Nobody was
smart.
doing this at the time. Some people are doing
So
it now.
smart.
Anyways, he goes, you're the only buyer's agent I know that has clients that can close in 2 weeks
on.
financed. Do you have somebody for me? And I'm like, well, it depends. How's the deal on the house look? And he's like, for you, if you can get this closed in 2 weeks, I'll throw in 10 grand in closing costs.
Come on, man.
And I'm like, sounds interesting. And then I say, send me the house. I say, well, I can't bring my client unless it's $10,000 off the asking price plus $10,000 in closing costs. And I'd already looked up what she had bought the house for, so she was making a killing on it already anyways.
Yeah.
And I was like, or we can just close in 30 days and do the 10 grand in closing costs. I pre-negotiate this deal.
Brilliant, dude.
Before I even take Byron to.
Brilliant.
And he says, let me call my client. Calls her. Yep, she'll go with the deal. 10 grand off and the 10 grand closing. I haven't even taken Byron to the house yet. But I knew as soon as I looked at the pictures, he was going to buy the house. So I write the contract. I write the contract because we're doing a lot of handwritten contracts at the time, but I pre-hand write the contract. I've got all the terms in it, minus the price and things like that. And I go and I take Byron there, and I'm so excited because I've got this contract in a folder like ready to go, and I know he's going to love this house, and I already have the deal of a lifetime on this house. We walk in, he looks up, looks outside. There's this little waterfall in the back. He's like, I think this is it. This is the house. Now, what did you want to talk to me about? I said, well, this is the contract for the house. I already pre-negotiated the deal for you, and you asked me to look out for you, and I'm telling you right now, don't think about this contract, just sign it, because I've just negotiated an amazing deal that you might not ever get again. I ended up being right.
And he signed it.
He signed it that day.
Jeez.
We submitted the offer. He closed in 2 weeks.
Come on.
It was amazing. So, save that other agent's butt. His clients were in a
It's a
position
win-win.
where they
Win-win.
Yeah, it was a win-win.
Goes back to what we were talking about pregame, dude. It's win-win.
Yeah, win-win for everybody. And Byron just trusts me. And then I call Byron once a month, every month after that. And I say, I really think you should get into real estate. Right? The same way people got me into real estate. I just had this feeling with this guy that was just like his personality and his background. And man, if somebody's going to help people get into debt, it should be somebody who got himself out of debt on his own.
Wow, man.
Right?
That's a good
Like,
word.
What a fantastic thing, you know, for if you were a buyer to have somebody with that kind of a background leading you. Like, I would be honored if he was my realtor, kind of a thing.
Right.
Just based on his background alone.
Right.
And then he's a great talker on top of it. I'm like,
let's go.
yeah. So anyways, I bothered this guy for a year.
Are you serious?
Oh,
my
year.
goodness, dude.
Every month I'm calling him. He's getting tired of the calls at this point, I can tell. Something happens at his job. He's working at a big box store, and something happens at his job, and he calls me and says it's time.
Wow.
And I'm like, you mean it? He's like, yep, I'm going to get my real estate license. I'm going to give this thing a go. Byron didn't know this about him until this happened, but he's a burn the boats kind of guy.
Wow.
So not only did he like quit his job to get his real estate license, but he had no intention on making money until he sold his first house.
Wow.
And he had enough money saved up where he could do that.
Brilliant.
It is brilliant.
That's right. That's a powerful word right there, right? Folks that are maybe thinking about considering getting the real estate, man,
license.
give yourself a bridge if you can. Wow, that's cool,
And
man.
if you can't, I probably wouldn't do it.
Wow, that's an interesting thought.
Probably wouldn't do it. Because the
Because
reality
then you'll get desperate for deals and probably make mistakes.
and you'll join the wrong shop and work with the wrong
wow,
people.
that's a good point.
You know, maybe if you go onto a team that offers leads, but even then, you got to have at least 3 to 6 months worth of
That's interesting.
money,
Expenses.
expenses ready to go. Parent, family, friend. If you really believe in your skills, don't be scared to borrow from somebody
Yeah.
to pursue your dreams.
It's really good.
If you really believe in your skills. Anyways, Byron joins up with us.
Byron rocks
Byron
it.
says, wow, you guys suck at this. And I'm like, I had no idea Jack was this good at real estate and this bad at paperwork. And I'm
I
like,
love it.
I'm like, well, I mean, like, you know, it all gets fixed anyways. And he's like, geez.
So he's like becomes the quality control specialist.
he becomes quality control. He also calls us out on our awful training. Well, how were we trained? We were trained monkey see,
monkey do. Yeah, that's how I was trained. Yeah.
So he showed up to the office, I think it was Monday morning at 8 a.m. And he looks around and nobody's there.
Oh yeah.
1 p.m. goes by and nobody's there. Well, Eric and I took Mondays off. Forgot that he was starting that Monday anyways.
Oh my
And
goodness.
we're expecting that he would call us and let us know when we were going to meet him and yada, yada, yada. We were just terrible leaders.
Wow.
Anyways, I get a call from Byron, I want to say like that afternoon, like, hey, like, you guys coming in today? Like, oh, gosh, this is your first day.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
just awful.
Wow.
Just totally terrible. He tells the story even better.
I bet he does
Embarrasses
from
the
his
crap out of me.
perspective. Yeah.
Embarrasses me to this day. But it's true. And so I'm not scared to admit it.
That's right.
But it is true. And what's really cool is that Byron became our head of training
Wow.
because he saw what was wrong with the way that we got trained, and we taught him everything that we knew. We taught Byron everything we knew,
Come on.
right? And Byron saw that, and then Byron went out and got his own coaching on top of that. So he had us, and then he got me into a coaching program.
So cool.
I was spending $20,000 a year on coaching with one coach.
Wow.
Best $20,000 I ever spent.
I bet.
It was so good. The guy doesn't do real estate anymore. He had a $1 billion merger and sold out his shares, but
Come on, dude.
freaking amazing, this guy.
Power of coaching, man.
And you know how much
Talk
he
about it
talked
all the
about real
time.
estate?
0. Yeah.
Much.
Little
He was
tiny
a life
bit.
coach.
Yeah. Life, mindset.
Life and mindset.
Yep.
And how to attract.
Yep.
Which is how I can speak to you and say you attracted that and you allowed that.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with the person.
That's so good, dude. That's a good word.
Because if you go meet a bully out there on the street, are you going to stay around?
Nope.
No, you're going to exit. Same thing happens in a transaction.
That's really good, dude. I love it. So last thing in your real estate stuff. So, cause we didn't really get into real estate investment for you as well. Do you want to maybe share some cliff notes on that? And then
I can, yeah. So anyways, Byron, Eric, and I took off, and we've got 30 agents now. So we were the top selling small team at Berkshire Hathaway for several months, and I think a year or two. And that was back 2018, 2019. Best small team at the top brokerage in the state. Then we moved over to another brokerage, KW, We became the top big team at that brokerage, and then we said, you know what, we're doing all of our own marketing and everything anyways. Let's just go be our own brokerage.
Start your own brokerage.
Start our own thing.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm happy to say we've been at it for over 2 years now, and we're growing at an incredible pace.
So
Last year
cool.
we sold 350 houses. This year we're on track to do about 500 houses.
Come on, man.
We'll probably do 1,000 within the next 3 years.
That's so cool.
That's the amount of this world.
That's awesome.
I remember joking with the guys 4 years ago, and I said, man, wouldn't it be crazy if we sold like one house every single day? And then when we started selling one house a day, it's like, wouldn't it be crazy if we were selling like 5 houses a day? And it doesn't even feel crazy anymore.
Yeah. It's funny how it's mindset, it's growth mindset, it's systems, you know, it's scaling the right way, taking care of people. And we talk about it all the time. We read the book Traction years ago, RPRS, right person, right seat.
Yeah.
Where now as you grow and develop that team, you have the right person in right seat. They're thriving, they're alive in their gifts, bringing a lot of value and showing up with zeal and zest and energy. And the stuff that you used to do that you weren't really good at and you didn't feel this grace on your life, you can move that to someone who does. And all of a sudden now the team continues to thrive.
Yeah. It's been really
brilliant.
Cool. And just really lucky. It's a lot of luck, a lot of hard work, a lot of failure, a lot of success.
It's so cool, man.
It's been a lot. Like,
I'm excited to see it.
How do you get from where you are to where I am? You don't. It doesn't exist. There's no class that's going to get you there. There's no 5-step program.
Yeah.
Everybody's living in their own boots, and sadly, there's not enough room for you and mine.
So good, bro. Good
so
word.
I'm just going to be fully honest and transparent about that. But could you go further, faster than I did? 100%.
Wow.
You don't need my boots to get there.
Yep.
So a lot of people might be
good.
hearing my story and saying to themselves, wow, I have none of that going on, and my parents weren't like that, and this wasn't like that. And guess what? Byron's story is totally different than mine.
Yep.
And he's 5 years younger than me, and he's way more successful than I was at his age.
So good.
Every time he hits the age that I'm at, he is beyond where I was.
Golly, dude.
So you don't need to live in my boots. You don't need to follow my path. What you need to do is you need to get to work.
Yeah.
You need to put in the reps. And the trick in life that I've learned, and I do feel passionately about this, is that there is a proper balance of execution versus learning. And notice where my hands are.
Yep.
There's a proper balance of execution versus learning.
It's really good, dude.
And the reason I say that is because you're going to do a lot of learning in the execution. The problem is if you only execute, you don't always learn. If you're only playing games and not ever looking at tape,
dang,
you put yourself in a bad position.
Big time.
Because you're just doing the same problems over and over and over again. So in real estate and in sales commissions type structures, if you never learn how to invest, this is my leeway into investing. You're always going to live on that hamster wheel, and you're going to be forced to sell. And I meet these realtors who are 70 and 80 years old out showing houses and listing houses and supporting their kids and grandkids and everybody on their income. And I just feel terrible for them. And none of them ever learned how to invest, which is why Meraki Realty Group, we teach our agents how to invest and how to exit.
Very cool, man. Very good.
I myself have been an investor for several years, both in the stock market and in houses. Not commercial real estate yet, but hopefully we'll do that soon too.
Yeah.
So
I love it, dude. Yeah, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in 2016, I want to say. Changed my life, you know. And I signed up. I took a 9-week class, Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was a Rich Dad coaching class on my day off every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 p.m.
That's cool.
And at the end of the 9 weeks, and it was beautiful because it was a guy, you know, on Robert Kiyosaki's team.
Was this after your pro football days?
Oh, yeah. Well, this was only, you know, in 2016. So I'd already retired for quite some time. We had led the church for, 8 years by the time. And so it was great, though, because this guy was like just telling his story. And as he was telling the story, he would give key things, how to get private financing, like how to find the deal, like all these techniques. And it was cool because at the end of the time, he's like, all right, man, like, I've taken you through the class. I mean, I never missed the class. I always got my homework. But then he's like, now you're up. And he's like, now to your point, it's execution. Like you're going to learn from what you do, but you got to go do it. And so I asked Denise, I said, hey babe, you see me taking these classes. Do you trust me? She's like, yeah. And at the time she had this like pretty sweet Yukon Denali. And I said, I need some down payment money. I'm going to sell your car. So I sold her truck, took 50 grand and bought our first rental property. That's how we got first started in real estate investment. And then that first house, when we went the day before for, what do you call that? Like the preview or whatever, like there was 2 doors down. There was a first sale by owner sign in this little villa.
That's crazy.
And I saw it. And
this is the villa that we were just talking about?
It's a different one. Yeah. And so I said, hey, can I get into it? Because in the class, he said, anytime you see for sale by owner, or for rent, like, man, talk to the person, build relationships, see where they're at. Got into that place, dude. It was crazy. It was a 10-year-old home, celebrity home, and it looked like no one had ever even lived in it. The lady that lived there never used the oven one time. Wow. It was like a time space time warp.
Just open the oven. There's still stickers in there.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. And I forget. It was like I think he wanted 195. I'm like, I'll give you 185, and got the deal done. And then I'm like, okay, how do I pay for it? And so
you did the transaction without the financing?
Yes, and way back. And so that was what I learned in the class, and I scratched up like 18.5 somehow. And one of my buddies, who is this, successful business guy who believed in us. Yeah. He said, I brought him and his wife over to the house. I said, dude, I just started investing in real estate. Here's what I've learned. I know you need, some just steady, passive income. Yeah. Wrote me a check for $166,500, a 30-year fixed 6%. And so it was a blessing to him because he gets an auto pay for $998 or whatever it was at the time.
That's so cool.
But he's also blessing Denise and I to get starting in our real estate. That's how we got started.
That's so cool.
Those are our first 2 houses. And then you continue to grow from that. But
that's amazing.
It's so crazy. My point being is, to your point, it's execution training, execution learning. And so you keep going.
So many people are looking for this podcast or this book or this thing that's going to be what takes them, or once I read that book, then I'm going to do it, or once I do this, then I'm going to do it. Or,
right.
I listen to a lot of podcasts myself.
Same.
But the more successful people you meet in life, the more you find out how little intellect it takes to be successful.
They're getting after it.
There's not a direct correlation to IQ and money.
Yep.
Otherwise, all these extremely intelligent people would be wealthy.
That's actually a really good point, yeah.
So there isn't this certain amount of stuff you need to learn in order to make money. In order to make money, or in order to produce or provide for others, you just start.
Yep.
That's the hardest part.
Get going.
Start.
Get going.
Everybody wants to lie about it and talk about it, and there's all these hacks and this hack and that hack.
Get going.
The major difference between the people who live in nice neighborhoods and the people who don't is the people who live in the nice neighborhoods got going. They're not necessarily any smarter than people in
really good
neighborhoods.
They got going.
So like if you're if you're listening to this podcast right now and you're in a place in your life that you're not the most proud of, I'm going to tell you right now that there is somebody that is much, much wealthier than you that is also much dumber than you are.
That is such a good word.
And you do not need to wait until you learn something to start today. Just start.
Let's close with speaking of get going. We got to get going, but I'll say this. Villa my home. I
crazy concept.
Preach this because I love it, because I love it for several reasons. For me personally, I'm a personal client of your business.
Yeah, you're one of my clients. Thank you for that.
I love it because I'm not the most handy guy. I have certain skills. Handyman is not that. And the way, maybe talk about it, but I love, because your guy Justin comes over. He we just moved into this house. He's putting everything perfectly in place. I mean, he's a perfectionist, which I love him. Josie was great with me on the phone, making sure things are in line. I just appreciate their level of service, but for me it's good because I want it every month. It's like I'm so busy with other things, but I appreciate really good stewardship of, especially a home that I'm living in. It's a beautiful home. And now you guys come once a month and make sure that you're pre-planned for the whole year, what you're going to fix and what you're going to adjust, and make sure that it's cleaned up and on point, screws tightened and all. That kind of stuff gets me stoked, dude.
It's hard for me to talk about it because every time I talk about it, I feel like it's a sales pitch and people don't believe how excited I am about it.
I mean, I don't own the business, but I'm super stoked about it. That's why I'm trying to.
my own client.
Dude.
I am also on a membership for my own business.
Heck yeah, you are, dude.
And I'm so happy about it.
Big time.
I can't wait to actually call Villa My Home and let them know that it's time to do the spring cleaning in my garage.
Fantastic.
So that I can go out there and help people build their lives.
Boom.
Be in there washing my garage.
Boom.
Right?
Delegate. Now, I will take that because I love that, but I'll delegate. Justin came over and he's power washing my house right now.
Let me tell you about Justin, though. Gosh, I'm so lucky with the people that I've gotten at Meraki and then with Villa My Home. Justin and Josie are just fantastic. Justin is brilliant. He's
big time.
Absolutely brilliant.
He is.
When I met him through a mutual friend, and he came to me and met me at Meraki, and he said, "Hey, I want to get into flipping houses." And I said, "Okay, I don't really work with investors when it comes to real estate. I am an investor. I don't really work with investors. I work with people when they want to buy their dream property. If you want to buy your acreage or your dream home or your lake home, I'm your guy.
That's your guy, yeah.
I am your guy.
Yep.
I'm going to help you with that home, and I'm going to make sure that it is the right fit for you, or that you're taken care of in every way possible." So a lot of investors who work with realtors to buy investment properties buy their personal homes with me.
Yep.
I'm that guy.
Yep.
And so anyways, he comes to me and he says, "I'm looking for a realtor to help me with investments." And I'm like, "I'm not your guy. I don't do that, but I have agents on my team that do. They'd be happy to go throw 20 low balls for you and get you a deal accepted."
Yep.
It's not what I do.
Not your flow.
But if it comes to your personal house, I'm happy to sell or help you buy a personal house. But I understand if that's not what you're looking for. "Well, you don't understand, Jack. I flipped my whole house. Here is the pictures." And I look at the pictures and I go, "Whoa, what do you mean you did this? So you contracted this out?" "No, yeah. You see those concrete countertops? I put those in." "What do you mean you put those in?" "Yeah, all those cabinets in the basement, I built those." "Oh, that tile on the floor, I put the tile in. I also did the paint job. I know the paint job's not that great, but when I was doing the baseboard, I kind of got tired while I was doing the caulk. So when I was doing that, then I decided I was going to paint that later. So don't pay attention to that part." But I said, wait, rewind.
Exactly.
"Did you just tell me you built the cabinets?"
Jeez.
I said, "Do you understand how unheard of that is?" "I love building cabinets."
I love it.
This is what he says to me. "I love building cabinets and I love working on houses." And I'm like, all right, you might be a flipper. Like, you might be one of these solo flipper guys. I don't want to take that away from you. And he's working in a family business at the time. So then I have this idea for several years. The way Villa My Home was born, the idea is very simple. And I'll get back to Justin here in a second. I had several clients calling me, elderly clients and younger clients, both age groups, older and younger specifically, calling me and complaining about maintenance on their houses.
Yep.
Wasn't really the middle-aged guys, not guys our age. It's mostly older and younger, right? Those two generations. And I would constantly get calls. "Hey, Jack, I'm ready to sell my house. I want to move into an apartment." "Hey, Jack, I want to sell my house and I want to move into a villa." "Hey, Jack, what do you know about villas?" Younger people, right? "What do you know about villas?" "I'm too busy to take care of my house. I don't have time to mow the lawn all the time and do all this stuff." So I kept getting all these things. But the same conversation happened each time, which was, "I wish I could stay in my house."
The home.
All these older people, "I wish I could stay here. I love my neighbors." And so I hear
exactly
this.
my parents right now.
And everybody wants to buy a villa. And I said, well, what if you could stay in your house and you got that same villa membership, that same monthly cost, and you could stay exactly where you live and enjoy your life?
Absolutely brilliant. Such a brilliant
Villa
move.
My Home was born.
So cool.
And it's not quite where it will be. It's getting there.
Yeah.
Because we're going to purchase.
You just started when?
I mean, just started 7 months ago, 8 months ago. Yeah. About 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Lawn business, snow business. Those are all things that we're going to include.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah. So we'll do.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Very cool.
Justin also, his house is best looking house in the neighborhood. I feel bad for his neighbors. I bet all the wives were creating some serious honeydew lists looking at his house. But, the way his house looked in his neighborhood is the same sense of pride that I would want any one of our members to feel at their own houses.
Yeah.
The right mixture of grass and no weeds and just, like
totally, man.
That lawn you drive by and you're like, look at those edges.
There's a dude like 2 or 3 houses down from the old house that I'd say that every time. I'd walk by.
Yeah,
we do my walk with Denise and I'd see that dude's that yard. I was like, bro, that dude's got it figured out.
And you would pay a little bit more money to know that that's the experience you're getting.
For sure, man.
Now, I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
That's what we're working towards.
That's cool, man.
So right now what we've done is we've attacked the handyman side of things.
I like that.
And so we're only on that side. We do a little bit of exterior, like power washing, like what we were talking about earlier. But the whole concept is that people deserve to have time to do more things than clean and service their own houses.
That's great.
And there's people out there like Justin who, if you accidentally kicked your cabinet door, could custom make you a door. And not only could he custom make you a door, but he'd have a smile on his face the whole time
and
he
love
did
doing it. Exactly.
Those people need to be working on the houses. The people who are frustrated and hitting their fingers on hammers should not be working on their houses.
Bro,
and the other issue that happened throughout all these real estate transactions was people would call me and ask me for a handyman. And handymen would come and go and be decent one year and not good another year. And their prices would fluctuate, and there was just no consistency. And if they were on a job, God forbid they were on a job, because I wasn't getting a hold of them for 2 days.
So good.
So I said, okay, if I start this contracting business, this handyman service, I'm going to take all the things I learned from back when I sold roofs, and I'm going to make an office manager immediately. That's Josie.
Brilliant.
Josie comes from a background of working with nurses and placing nurses all around the country, and then helping them get situated with their new hospitals and families that they're being placed with and all this stuff. So that's like what she did before she came to develop my home. She's the ultimate schedule organizer. It's exactly what I needed.
That's how I feel too. Yeah.
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 And she just wants to take care of people.
Yeah. You could tell.
Like, she genuinely is interested in everybody's problems, knew absolutely nothing about houses when we hired her. Wow. And I didn't need her to know houses. I needed her to know people.
Yeah. Care for people.
And I needed her to care very deeply. Genuinely care about people.
Yeah.
And feel concerned, right? If somebody has an issue, and that's who she is.
So cool.
And so she's amazing at that. And she's amazing at the scheduling and the check boxes. And she's honestly, like, her personality is good enough that, or I shouldn't even say good enough. Her personality is so wonderful that we'll teach her the things she doesn't know. Yep. And she's really quick at learning them.
Yep. And that's what you need. You need the right fit and the right DNA fit to be able to
she's the kind of person I can be around on a regular basis. She's a high performer, high achiever. She's just amazing. She makes our clients feel really special. I'm constantly getting complimented on her.
I feel that same way. Yeah.
She just executes at a high level.
So cool.
I'm super excited for her to grow with our organization. And then we have Justin, our head handyman. We have a couple other handymen and assistants as well, but I'm just going to focus on these two for now. Justin is fantastic. He's just the guy. And I used to get upset with him when I first hired him because it would take him so long to do things. And then I remembered why I hired him, because it doesn't take me very long to do things, and that's why they're not perfect. And if I'm going to hire somebody to hang a TV in my house, I don't need 12 holes in the wall while you try to find a stud. I wanted you to hit it the first time and make the wires perfect and have the TV perfect.
Yes.
That's Justin.
Yeah.
He's using laser levels, balancers, the whole 9 yards.
Perfectionist, dude.
He's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Your TV is actually straight.
Yep.
Not like looks straight and don't look at it from this angle. It's actually straight and doesn't get bumped and that's way off. Like, he does things right.
And I think there's a certain clientele, because Denise and I are very much like that. We're weirdos. Like, our vacuum, like, lines are perfect. And like, there's certain things that we're weirdos about. And I think that's the beauty when you have clientele like that appreciate that. And they're working hard and they're doing maybe gifted in other areas. They will pay for that and it'll be a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
I mean,
Love
we've
it.
been very lucky because our neighbors at our lake community have really enjoyed our services.
Heck yeah, man.
Continually used us, and a lot of doctors and executives. But we're also very reachable pricing wise.
You are. Yeah.
To middle income and lower income households.
Yep.
We service those as well.
It's awesome, man.
We keep our price extremely favorable. We work with a lot of moving companies locally, so I would say it's really cool to see where the business is going to head, because the original idea, guess what I found out? Old people aren't the ones who call us.
Interesting.
And I initially thought they were going to be a majority of my base. But what do people do when they're retired? They can't wait till something breaks on their house. Gives them something to work on.
Wow.
It's only until they've reached the point.
That's interesting.
I know, and I didn't find this. You don't find out until you
do
it.
You got to go.
Got to go first.
Execute,
learn second.
Learn. Yeah.
Execute and then learn. And I
that's cool, man.
I was shocked because the only older folks that really like our service are the ones that are past the point of being able to do any of the work themselves. Because they would rather spend all day figuring out how to create a door cabinet that doesn't look great and put it on anyways because they don't have anything else going on.
Really, really good.
And then there's like, what I found is that there's like one old guy that helps like 50 other old people. And he's like the fix-it guy. And this is the lawnmower repair guy.
Yeah.
And they have like these communities and these retired communities. And it's like each one has like, he used to be a work on airplanes, so now he fixes the lawnmowers.
RPRS,
Yeah,
right person, right seat. There it is again.
And
even
so they
in
have
retirement
they have
age.
these like setups. And so, sadly, we do get a lot of widowers and things like that,
Sure.
where the husbands pass away and they were the ones doing all the work. And but for the most part, it's younger people. It's people that are under 50.
Wow.
A lot of 30-year-olds and a lot of 40 and 50-year-olds.
Yep.
Not really 60 and 70 like everybody.
Well, they appreciate, again, good stewardship, making sure you maintain one of your biggest, investments that you're going to have. Why wouldn't you, So brilliant move. Dude, Jack, thanks for taking time, dude. You're busy dude. You took this much time with me.
Heck yeah.
Thanks for sharing your story. I'm praying that it's really going to help a lot of guys and gals, listeners, as they're, learning real estate investment, just real estate in general, life in general. Jack, thanks for your time, bro. I know you're a busy dude. It's been an absolute blast. And maybe just last couple thoughts for our listeners to encourage them and before we sign off.
Yeah. So, in conclusion to everything that I've talked about today, if there's anything that I would hope that somebody who was listening to this was at maybe any point in their life, any point of success or failure in their life that they could take on and move forward with, it's just that there's somebody out there in life who has done more with less. There's somebody out there who has been in a worse position than you and has ended up in a better place.
It's huge.
And I think about people like Nelson Mandela, who was, imprisoned for 20 years without any real cause or reason, and then, led an entire people.
It's just absolutely bananas.
There's just some stunning stories out there. So anytime things are getting really down on my life, or
it's really good.
Like I've gotten really bad news. I've dealt with people passing. I deal with people passing a lot in my real estate business too.
Yeah.
And sadly, divorce, this, that, the other. There's always somebody in life who has been in a way worse position and they've gotten to a way better position. And there's only one way that you can get yourself out of a depression or get yourself up to the next level. And it's by taking new actions.
Come on, man.
And by actually taking the actions.
Let's go.
So if I could give any advice to anybody today, it's don't wait till Monday to start. It's stop waiting until tomorrow morning. If there's a new habit you want to start, there's a diet you want to start, if you want to quit smoking, you just do it now.
Boom.
And then if it fails, you do it now again.
Yeah.
And eventually you become this person that does it now and these things stick. And
Action.
then you become this action-oriented person and you're going to learn so much more by failing. I am the ultimate failure. Excuse me. I am the ultimate failure in life, which is why I'm successful now.
So good, man.
And so enjoy the failure and the successes will come.
So
but if you
good.
don't fail, you can't succeed.
I love it. If people want to maybe work with you or, interview you, if potential agent, maybe how to contact you before we sign off.
So as far as like buying and selling homes goes, I'm the CEO, but number one, I'm a realtor. And I like to make my clients feel extremely special. If you work with me, you're never even going to notice that I have other clients. I always keep, all my attention focused on whoever I'm working with, and I dial my time in. I love working with lake houses, acreages. I love selling 2 stories. People who are moving up from their starter homes, they're ready to sell the starter home, or even better, turn it into a rental. I can show you how to do that.
Boom.
So that you can then, and I've talked to a lot of people.
I teach that all the time.
All the time. There's very few realtors like us, Todd, who are going to tell somebody not to give me a commission check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I'm going to say no.
Turn it into a rental, man, if you can.
Turn it into a rental. Make some money on this thing.
Let's get some equity out of that for your down payment.
I regret every rental I've ever sold.
Yep. Same.
I wish I had every single one of them.
Same exact way.
So like now, knowing that, I'm like, how am I going to recommend somebody to give up an opportunity to rent if they don't need to?
Right.
Especially when there's all these companies out there that'll help you do it and take over the management process for you.
Yep.
So anyways.
How do they get a hold of you?
How to get a hold of me? My phone number is 402-681-1716. My website for Meraki Realty Group is MerakiRG.com. If you're a real estate agent or you want to get into real estate,
there you go.
MerakiAgent.com.
Oh, I like it.
Absolutely. So that's where you're going to learn about Meraki, the organization.
How about Villa My Home?
So if you need handyman services, if that's something that's attractive to you, or you want to somehow get involved with our business or partner up with us, it's villamyhome.com.
Okay.
We do work on an hourly basis for folks. We also have membership and discounted hourly rates for people who are on membership, but we'll just do solo projects as well.
I've done both sides, and now I'm on the monthly plan, dude.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you
homie.
started as an hourly, and then you turned into a monthly, and
won me over.
I hope we continue to earn your business
for sure,
and
man.
serve you well.
Yep,
And,
love it, dude. Thanks for your time, and till our next polar plunge or dinner date.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
Hopefully not soon on the polar plunge.
Thanks, bro.